Welcome back to the kitchen table of Silver Surfwax for Silver Surfwax Sunday. All right, guys, quick video here. I wanted to go ahead and respond to a viewer question this Silver Surfwax Sunday. I got a question a couple weeks ago from a viewer named My 2 Cents, and he asked, it looks like that ammo can won't fit 25 tubes. Am I mistaken? And I did reply back then that it does fit, but that, you know, I may want to do a video and just demonstrate, you know, how this works out. It's a little bit of a puzzle, and so not entirely straightforward, but I thought I'd demonstrate it, and it gives me a excuse to show off the virtues of the ammo can. Like you may or may not know from my previous videos, big fan of the ammo can for storing silver, and I've got at least a dozen reasons why, and that's what I do. I store my silver in ammo cans. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate here, at least getting this in there fit. And I'm gonna show you both. I have two ammo cans that have silver tubes, and you know, rounds that have the silver tubes in them. So I'll show you both, but we'll go ahead and start with this one where I have 500 rounds of APMEX Buffalo silver. We've got, obviously we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, oops, let me get the camera here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 tubes that are gonna fit in this ammo can. All right, let's do it. Well, let's get the little foamy thing in there, right on. Okay, so try to get the light a little bit better because it's not exactly perfect, but maybe that'll work a little bit. So in this case, pretty straightforward. You know, I'm gonna do 2 rows of laying these guys down flat. And they generally, except for at this particular moment, they generally lay flat pretty well. And I will usually kind of leave, the lids tend to be a little bit fatter than the base. So sometimes I've, you know, switched sides so I can put the head of the lid opposite to the tail of that guy. And so if you can make that out right there, that is the first 6, and then we'll get 8 right down in there. All right, and then we'll go ahead, we'll just stand the rest of these guys upright. So we'll go 2, 4, 6, 8. Look at that, and we got our last 3 right here. These 2 gonna go in normal, and the last one we can go sideways in there, and it's just fine. So 25 tubes in an ammo can. Pop the lid back on there, and we're good to go. So let's take a quick look at my other ammo can. We got 1,000 ounces of silver on the table here for demonstration purposes. You notice I did this a little bit differently with these, and these are kind of miscellaneous tubes. So what I ended up doing, you know, some of these are very similar to the APMEX tubes, but other ones are not. And so I've noticed that, you know, some of these, but kind of same process, you know, 2 on the end, laying down flat. I think the bottom ones are standing up. So same concept, but ended up with 25 tubes in this box as well. So works out great, and you get your 500 ounces per ammo can, which is kind of my deal. I like to try to get 500 ounces in each ammo can. With the Mercury dimes, I wasn't able to, so I had to use a 50 cal ammo can to make enough room. But generally, I'm finding that this is working out pretty good. And obviously, the ammo can has been useful for me, and I find that it's better than some of the other containers out there. I happen to have, this guy. Let's put this out here. The AppMex container that those actually came in, and I noticed that it's quite a bit bulkier, quite a bit larger compared to the ammo can. It doesn't have some of the great features. It's obviously not, it's made of plastic, not made of heavy metal that's durable and, special purpose made to hold heavy metal like lead. So the ammo can works for that. Obviously, ammo cans have a handle. This puppy doesn't. This thing, you can tell right off the bat, is quite a bit larger and at least wide, at least about the same depth and a little bit higher, quite a bit wider. So, having this thing and moving it around, you're gonna have to move it around this way, and this lid can pop off. You have to zip tie it down or something. And the ammo can doesn't have that problem. Obviously, this puppy fits 500 ounces, so that's a feature. And this is an inexpensive container. You're gonna pick this up at any military surplus supply store for 15 bucks, maximum 20 bucks. Online, brand new. Maybe you'll pay a little bit more if you want a prettier can that hasn't been used before, and in colors or something like that. I obviously opted for just totally painted over used military surplus can, the cheapest possible, but you could get something nice. This fits surprisingly well in a safe, and I've even, believe it or not, fit one in a hotel safe. A little bit awkward, but I had to slide in there sort of diagonal or sideways, but I got it into a hotel safe, and I've also got these into safe deposit boxes. Your standard 3x10 safety deposit box, you can fit 2 of these cans in one of those boxes. It's also a little bit tight, but there's room because there's another inch on the end. But the fact that you've got these ends, you kind of have to interleave them. You have to have one can on one side because this gets a little bit too long. Here, I'm not showing that very well. This part is just a little long, and that part's a little long. But if you flip one ammo can upside down and you lay them flat in a safety deposit box, that works. Obviously, another feature of these is they're airtight. So not only will you possibly decrease your milk spotting, but you'll also increase your water resistance to flooding or any fire damage. Even if this isn't a safe or a fireproof safe, just the fact that it's airtight is going to take longer for these things to heat up in a fire. And so that compartmentalization will actually improve your fire protection. And obviously these are smaller form factors than the US Mint's Monster box or the Canadian Mint box or this AppMex box over here. Just a completely smaller form factor, really condensed, pretty useful. And I like it because it keeps my projects separated. I have my dimes project or my junk silver project or my bars or my rounds projects. So even if I'm not done with those projects and I haven't completely filled the can, I'm able to just keep myself a little bit organized and know where my stuff is. I've got quite a bit of silver, but I pull out 10 ammo cans and am able to operate and deal with quite a bit of silver without as much fuss or muss as if it's all loose or in some box that may not, that has to be carried from the bottom or something like that. So that's kind of fun. And then last couple points here is that these cans, I've tested this, will actually fit between wall studs. So you can hide these within the walls of your house. Which is, an alternative to some people want to bury their silver. But if you had the ability to jam these into walls or drywall over them, if you weren't going to access them for a while, you would know where these guys are. They're very well contained, and they would, you know, even survive probably fire and flood and everything like that, hidden in those walls. Obviously, you know, you can keep this with your ammo as well, right? You might lock up your ammo in a large safe. So that's just going to make everything safer, heavier to steal or remove that safe, and sort of hidden, obfuscated amongst that ammo, a little bit of a disguise, if you will, you know, security through obscurity. So these are kind of the reasons why I enjoy the ammo can as a great storage for your silver. And it does, you know, silver does take up a little more room than gold, quite a little bit more room than gold. And so there you go, guys. And I hope that helped answer my 2 cents and showed you that I was able to get these 25 tubes inside the small, you know, 30 cal ammo can. All right, guys, take care. Have a great week. See ya.